You probably think of airports as like just transport hubs, right? You go in, clear security, grab a coffee, and board your plane. But operators view that exact same space as a high-end shopping mall, a sprawling real estate project, and a massive financial ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the planes are essentially just the delivery mechanism for the real business model.
Welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission is to figure out exactly why investors are pouring billions of dollars into airport infrastructure and how these massive concrete labyrinths actually generate the returns.
And to understand that investment frenzy, we really need to look at the sheer wall of demand coming down the pipeline, specifically in emerging markets like India. Right now, India's air travel penetration is, well, it's tiny. It's just 0.2 trips per person annually.
Wow, okay, let's unpack this because compared to the US, where it's about 2.1 trips per person, that gap is just massive. And anticipating that untapped market, Indian Airlines have placed orders for what, like 1,880 new aircraft?
Yeah, nearly 2,000 planes.
Which is crazy. But building out the infrastructure for that volume, I mean, it feels like buying a massive fleet of cars when you don't even have driveways to park them in. Every single one of those planes demands runways and gates and baggage systems.
Right. And I mean, you're hitting on the core tension of airport economics right there. The capital costs are just astronomical. So you have to wonder, how does this actually make money?
Yeah, because landing fees alone can't possibly cover $1 billion terminal. So what is the actual financial engine here?
Well, revenue is split into two buckets. The first is aero revenue. That's your landing fees, aero bridges, terminal charges. But because airports operate as natural monopolies in their cities, regulatory authorities actually cap how much they can charge airlines.
Oh, to ensure they don't price gouge.
Exactly. Like Delhi recently saw its tariff increase to 360 rupees per passenger. But that's strictly regulated to just ensure a baseline return on their capital expenditure.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Because if the aeronautical side covers the baseline costs, but the upside is legally capped, are the runways essentially just loss leaders designed to trap us in a high-end shopping mall?
I mean, pretty much. That's the second bucket. Non-aero revenue.
Yeah.
We're talking retail, food and beverage, duty-free, parking. For these operators, they obsess over this metric called spend per passenger, or SPP.
Wait, really? They track that like a traditional mall would?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
If you look at Adani Airports Holdings, for example, 65% of their revenue comes from non-aero sources. Only 25% is from the actual aviation side.
Which completely explains why operators are trying to maximize every square inch of commercial space. They're basically evolving into full-blown cities, right? What the industry calls an aerotropolis.
Yeah, they take the land surrounding the airport and develop it into logistics, parks, hotels, business centers. GMR's airport portfolio, for instance, includes over 3,000 acres of prime land dedicated purely to real estate development.
That is wild. But even inside the terminal, they're deploying some serious technology to keep you spending. And I'm guessing it's not just about making the lines move faster for your convenience.
Not at all. What's fascinating here is that the goal of using AI tools, like a VEO for operational bottlenecks, or biometric systems like India's DigiYatra,
Which is the facial recognition thing, right?
yeah, which recently crossed 100 million uses. The whole point of that is to maximize your dwell time. The math is really simple. Every minute you aren't standing in a security line is a minute you can spend browsing luxury retail.
Wow, so efficiency literally equals revenue.
It does, and it works. Paris Airports recently reported their spend per passenger in Terminal 1's international areas hit a record 87.6 euros.
But if this commercial ecosystem is so incredibly lucrative, why is the barrier to entry so high?
Because of the massive capital chasm. We're talking about some of the most capital-intensive projects on Earth. Delhi's recent expansion alone cost nearly 9,800 crore rupees.
Which is well over $1 billion US.
Easily. And operators usually don't even own the airports outright. They use concession models like DBFOT. That's design, build, finance, operate, and transfer.
So they take on the debt to build it, run it for maybe 30 years to extract the profit, and then just hand the asset back to the government.
Right. And the debt servicing starts on day one of construction, but the passenger revenue scales up years later. So surviving that early financial drought is the real test.
So what does this all mean? It feels a bit like, I don't know, farming almost, like planting an orchard where you're watering dirt and servicing debt for a decade before you see a single apple.
That is a great analogy. But unlike an orchard, your crops can be wiped out overnight by external shocks you can't control. Economic slowdowns, fuel price spikes, or, a global pandemic.
Oh, right.
Any of that can completely zero out your passenger foot traffic.
Right, because without the planes, the mall is completely empty. So, to summarize our dive today, airports monetize everything that happens after the planes bring you there.
Yeah, the aviation is just the infrastructure. The retail and the real estate are the actual product.
Which leaves you with this to chew on. If airports are continually evolving into entirely self-sustaining megalotapic megacities packed with luxury retail, fine dining, and theme parks, will we eventually see people traveling to an airport as a luxury vacation destination without ever actually boarding a flight?
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.